an aspiring yoga teacher, currently fun employed, from a small town called Janjuk, just outside of Melbourne in Australia. So my story is I actually did my 200 hour with Santosha last year, and I found it to be quite literally the most incredible, transformative, life-changing experience of my life. And it was interesting because one of my biggest fears when I left that experience was that I would leave all that I'd learnt behind and enter straight back into a corporate world and straight back into the job that had led me to burnout, which had actually brought me to the training in the beginning. And it was kind of funny because I believe I kind of manifested that myself and ended up in the exact same position about 2 months ago. And when I saw Santosha had a 300-hour training coming up, I just decided, I definitely want to have that experience again. I want to refresh my knowledge, and I think something's always been calling me to this world, to this path, and I think that it was just the perfect step to take towards, re-exploring that, and it's given me a lot more clarity moving forward, which has been great. I have had so many unique experiences already so far on this training. I don't think I really understood how much we were going to be covering, how many topics we would be diving into, how many different modalities. One of the most incredible, unique experiences I had was with Dharmadev, the sound vocal trainer, and we had this really beautiful experience with a group of us just chanting, tuning into each other's energies, and I think it was over an hour went by and it felt like 5 minutes, and I think it was quite an emotional but incredibly explorative experience for a lot of us. And so many others. I think it's awesome to see how we kind of laughed about it the other day, how unique and different we can all be, but we're all united on the one thing where, if we were out somewhere or maybe even at a park, we might not all connect or go up to each other and say hello, but the friendships and relationships I've been able to form here have been truly special. And I think that's a really beautiful thing about this space and what it can do for people, bring them together. I did have some doubts and fears before the training that I wasn't experienced enough, that I hadn't actually been teaching at all, really, that I wasn't flexible enough, not knowing what kind of yoga to expect. That I wouldn't have as much experience as anyone else, or wasn't really sure what I'd be stepping into in terms of that realm of depth and expression. But I can safely say now, more than ever, I feel kind of like confident and excited to step into the teaching world. I feel like I've overcome those fears thanks to my peers and wonderful teachers and their support, but that was definitely a part of it. And also the fear, I guess, around not knowing enough. It's just been the amount of knowledge we've already accrued on so many different topics. It's kind of like giving you these little nuggets of information about maybe areas that you want to explore more, or maybe areas that you want to dive deeper to. And I'm really grateful for having that depth of knowledge across a number of modalities and platforms. So it feels good. Spending a month in Nusa Lembongan is something everyone should put on their bucket list. I've actually been living in Bali for the last 7 months myself, and as much as I love the Indo life, I'm not going to lie, I do love a surf. I'm terrible, but I love surfing, and I love being by the ocean. And Lembongan's just a really beautiful place. This island holds so much incredible energy. The locals are amazing, and it's just a lot slower, a lot more peaceful, a lot more welcoming. You can really open yourself up to some of the most incredible parts about Balinese culture, about the food, and there's a lot on offer here. And to be able to practice and learn every day, quite literally looking at the ocean as I am now, is something pretty special, especially when you're kind of sitting there in meditation. You can feel the ocean breeze on your face. It's the best. Next for me on my yoga journey, actually thanks to this experience, is I have quit my previous job, which led me to burnout again, and I've recently already applied for a yoga position back home, and I'm just so excited to start learning more and practicing teaching, really developing my self-practice and learning more and more as I go. And I've sort of set some really awesome goals and tasks for myself to step into that space, and I'm really excited for what the future holds now. What makes Santosha special to me? So many things. I think not only the shala and the space that we're able to practice in every day that literally looks at the ocean, but probably more than anything, the incredible teachers that they bring into this. And the amount of depth, knowledge, compassion, space holding, and just help across the board it's really inspiring. It's incredibly insightful, and yeah, I guess all of the teachers that I've been really privileged and honoured to learn from, I've really cherished every experience and would love to be able to jump into all of their brains and just have them, but giving myself space and kindness to learn. And yeah, I think the way that they create the container for that to happen and the communication amongst us all as yogis is, yeah, it's really special. It's not something that you find every day. When I try and think about a special moment throughout this journey, even personally or from something that I've learned, I'm finding it quite hard to articulate it or put it into words. I think personally I've grown and learnt so much more about myself than I realised that I would. And special moments, I think I'd have to count them out moment by moment, teacher by teacher, because I've just constantly been blown away by everything that's been taught. I think the sound activation was definitely a really special moment for us. I've also had some really incredible personal and emotional breakthroughs through meditation. I learnt so much through, I guess, covering some of the philosophy. I really enjoyed Yoga Nidra. I also had some wonderful experiences there. So the list could go on and on. I really don't know how to summarize it. I would just really suggest to immerse yourself and surrender to the process, because I think once you do that, the magic really starts to happen. To anyone thinking of doing this level of training, I would say if you were like me and you hadn't really taught since you're 200, maybe hadn't been doing that much yoga, and maybe just felt like you wanted to immerse yourself in an environment where you could be around that again, couldn't recommend it more. It was such a safe space. I didn't feel out of place. I didn't feel like I had no knowledge. Didn't feel like a flexibility, which I thought I would. It's been incredibly supportive of that, and it's also been really beautiful and beneficial to be surrounded by others that are more experienced in teaching, and to have their knowledge and them sharing their stories and how they got started and took the right steps has been really inspiring for me as well. So it meets all needs really, and if you're thinking about it, you're probably still going to be thinking about it in a year's time, so just bite the bullet and do it.